Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week, well, last week and the week before also, I've been getting back to doing some of this charcoal landscape drawing. Very basic drawing. Just using willow charcoal. I have a piece of willow charcoal, a charcoal pencil, some white Conte pastel, a kneadable eraser, and some white sketchbook paper. It's a smooth paper. It's not quite as smooth as, say, a piece of Bristol board, but it's heading in that direction. So basic materials. The four pictures you can see on screen, the top right and bottom left, those are very similar to the sort of drawings I would have done a year or two ago. The top left and bottom right, slightly different. I tried to be a bit more expressive and put a few more lines and squiggles and things in there, just to be a bit more dynamic, maybe. It's always good to experiment. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit of the drawing process. I can't show you all of it, even though I did record most of it. The problem is this new camera. The camera is very cheap, and I know why. I now know why it was very cheap. It basically isn't very good. When my hand is moving about, it can sometimes cause the camera to, well, the image to start to flicker. I think it's the changing brightness. The camera just can't cope. So it is annoying to look at, but it's also, my main worry would be, I don't know if this would happen, but I know some people have epilepsy that can be triggered by flashing lights, and this sort of flickering, I don't know if it's strong enough to cause someone to have a fit, but I certainly don't want to be responsible for that. So I just decided to go with a lot of editing. I cut out most of the drawing. I hope that's okay. You can still see me drawing some of the parts of the image. At the moment I'm using the white Conte pastel. So again, the four drawings, and I say the top left and bottom right, those were a slightly different style of drawing. There's just a few more squiggly lines in there. This week I've also been working on an article about some artists, female artists mostly, and I was particularly interested in trying to find any artists who worked a lot with charcoal. There's a lot of artists, of course, who use charcoal, but very often it was done for sketching, or sometimes as a kind of underdrawing, and then they would put oil paint on top of it. But actual artists who created finished drawings, finished artwork in charcoal, there's not as many of those. But one of them I did find was interesting, or I kind of rediscovered. I think I knew about her before, but forgotten about her. So the name, she's German, so apologies if I'm mispronouncing the name, but I think it's Käthe Kollwitz. She was a German expressionist painter, and she did do a lot of charcoal drawings. She also did printmaking, sculpture, different things. She also did some painting and things like that. But it was her charcoal drawings, and she did a lot of charcoal drawings of people, and they're very, well, they are very expressive. And she has a real knack for capturing sort of human emotion. So if you haven't come across her before, definitely worth looking at, especially if you are interested in portrait drawing, figure drawing, any sort of drawing that captures sort of human emotion. I'll put some links in the description box below, anybody that's interested. She didn't have a super happy life. There was a lot of sort of trauma in her life. Well, first of all, she lived through 2 world wars, which would not have been easy. And she lost a son in the First World War. She lost a grandson in the Second World War. She was a socialist and a pacifist, and the Nazis did not like either of those things. So she had a lot of trouble with things like that. Her job, she had quite a high-ranking job in an art institute that was taken away from her, things like that. So, interesting artist, worth looking at, I think. And it is interesting to see artists who work with charcoal and actually create finished pieces of artwork in charcoal, rather than just sketches and underpaintings. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching and listening. Hopefully see you again in next week's video.